Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode in the SQL Professor. Here we go ahead and give you the tools you need to succeed in SQL Server database programming and database administration. I'm leveraging my 20 years in IT and over 10 years as a professor at the collegiate level to give you what you need to be able to quickly be proficient in SQL. Today we're going to cover database functions. There are an absolute ton of built-in functions in SQL Server. This is from the official Microsoft documentation, and you can just see all of the different categories of functions: logical, mathematical, metadata, ranking, etc., etc. Most of them return a single value, and you just pass in the parameters and you go ahead and get back that single value. And I wanted to show you just some of the capabilities there. So here we are in SQL Server, again within Management Studio, the SQL Professor database, and the reference data we have is our client table and our batting table. Client table, again, is just a simple table of name, age, city, and a bit operator if the email is confirmed or not. And batting is just some simple data from the 2021 baseball season: home runs, stolen bases, and average. There's about 30 rows in each of these tables. So to get started, most of the time IntelliSense will change the color for a built-in function. You can see here it pops up built-in function length, where it returns an integer, where you pass in an expression. So here I want the length of the name. If I run this, I get probably what you expect. Alice has 5 characters, Bob has 3, Carol has 5, Hank has 4, and it's that simple. It's that easy to use these. You don't have to program any counting for the length. It's built in, it's ready to go, and you can just go ahead and use it. Some more string manipulation. If I want to put the names all in uppercase or all in lowercase, upper and lower are the functions that automatically do that. And you can see the answers right here: all upper, all lower. Even though they came in with a variety of upper and lower characters, you can specify it. A lot of this is useful for data cleansing. You can also have a left and a right. So in this case, first 3 letters, the last 2 letters. And as you might expect, it comes in kind of exactly what you would want here. You can use this for something like initials. If you needed to extract the first initial or the last initial out of a name, go ahead and do it. Date functions is another category. GetDate itself does not accept any parameters, so even though it's a function, you pretty much just get back the current date and time. You can also have that passed into the year function, which returns the year, and a month function, which would return the month. So if I highlight this and execute it, you'll see today's date and the time I'm recording this video, then just the year and just the month. And there are other functions, as you can see in the reference. You can do math against these functions. They return integers most of the time. So here, the year get date, so this will return 2025 minus the year ID, which is from the batting table, and we'll get 4 years because all of the year IDs were 2021. So there's a lot of different date functions, and then you get into some of the mathematical functions. You have something like an absolute value or rounding. Absolute value of 10 is negative 10 is 10. Here you have 2 functions, the average home runs, and then we wanted to round that, and because it was a whole number, it rounds it to 0 decimal places. Rounding is really interesting because you can get some really weird values. So the round function with 2 decimal places says it will round it to the nearest 2, so you would expect something like 123.45. Negative 2, it essentially rounds the number of significant digits to the left. So if I just run this, you'll see I get 123.45. The nearest 100ths for 123.45 is 100. If I rerun this to the nearest tens, I'll get 120. If I round it to the nearest whole number, 1, actually 0, let's see what happens here. Round it to the nearest whole number, I'll get 123. Again, nearest tens and the nearest hundreds. There's a link here to more of the particulars of the round function. And now you can combine them still. You can have the, now you have to be careful here. This was probably kind of a bad design. If I look at the batting table and look at the number of the columns, we have a column called average. This also happens to be a built-in function. SQL Server can sort this out, but it does look a little strange. So it's best practice probably not to have a column named AVG, but it's the average of the average column. Now I want to cast this as a decimal. 4, 3 means 4 digits total, 3 of them to the right of the decimal place. So when I run this, it will compute the average, 4 digits, 3 to the right of the decimal place. Some more string manipulation. Let's go ahead and add a value that is a little bit formatted strange. You see the J and then the capital A here. Pull that in. And now I want the upper initial and then the rest of the name proper cased, added together. So for most of these, because they were formatted properly, it's not going to change anything, but you can see it changed JSON here to what we might expect. If we had some messy data, maybe it had some, in addition to strange capitalization, maybe it had some spaces we didn't expect. Let's insert those 3 rows here. Now what are we doing? Proper case is just copied down from here. Now combining some functions. Take the length of the name. Now I want to replace inside of name everything where there's a space with no spaces, and then take the length of that. And then when I subtract this from this, I'm going to get the number of spaces. And that could be used in a data quality check. If the spaces are more than 0, or if it's a first name space last name, if the spaces are more than 1 or not equal to 1, that could be an indication you have some messy data that we need to start looking at and cleaning up. And so just this one simple function, we have replace, well, just this one SQL command. Within this one command, we have a replace, we have length twice, we have a substring, length again, lowercase, uppercase, all combined. But it's very quick. These are hyper optimized and will return values instantaneously. To end it, let's show you one other interesting use of functions. Here I'm going to create some data, just the numbers 1 through 31. This uses what's called a common table expression. We'll cover that in a future video, where the numbers indicator here, once you run this command, it becomes a table that then you can use in a subsequent statement, all within the context of this statement. So I've created a table, column N, rows 1 through 31, and now I'm passing that in here to a date add function. So I'm adding day, and then n minus 1, so 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3, etc. to casting the get date as a date. So when it starts adding 0 days and then 1 days and then 2 days, I can get a calendar of the next 31 days, all within this statement, returned instantly. Because everything is a date, it very much knows about the end of the month. There's only 30 days in September, it rolls forward, and there you go. So built-in functions, incredibly powerful. You're encouraged to kind of dive deep into them, get used to them, be comfortable with how they are used. I'll include some links in the description to the Microsoft reference. And I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.